Hi, this is Sandy Warren, and my business name is Wellness with Attitude. I am a life coach here to help navigate the curves of life. And I decided that this would be a way to introduce myself, so I'm going to bring up a PowerPoint presentation that may help us to stay on track. The reason that I chose to do this in this manner is A, for my focus, my plan, but B, because I thought it might help someone who is also in the process of developing a course, whether it's for coaching or for mastermind or whatever else it might be. So this is my attempt at focusing myself, stepping up to Dean's challenge of today, and also in hopes that it might help someone else to clarify their process and their steps. So allow me, if I may, to bring you into this sharing of the screen for this PowerPoint presentation, and hopefully we'll be able to bring you into the concepts, the steps. So Wellness with Attitude is collaborative coaching, and it's navigating the curves of life. What about me? Who am I? What brought me to this point? Well, there were a number of turning points in my life, as I'm sure there have been turning points in your life. So I think number one, I was the first single person, parent that I ever knew. I was the first divorced parent that I never knew. And in the process of that, becoming divorced and having children, I was also working in a business that was 100% commission. And so that lasted a number of years. I was actually a single parent for about 20 years. And I was working with Mary Kay Cosmetics for over 25 years, a sales director in Pink Cadillac. So there were a lot of things going on in there. Also made a decision that I wanted my kids, young adults, to experience another way of thinking in another area. So I relocated from New England to North Carolina and began again in that area with the new area and new friends. So that was yet another adjustment and change. And then a number of years after that, I decided to make some other changes. I call it right sizing. A new man in my life who I have been with now 25 years, and a new home and grandchildren. We have four. So there have been many seasons in my life. So the careers that have built credibility. I was in the medical field out of high school. I did x-ray and then I did radiation therapy. What did I learn? I learned empathy. I learned to be a good listener. Mary Kay Cosmetics, sales director, Pink Cadillac, 25 years. I learned how to build a business, and more importantly, I learned how to help other women build a business, how to juggle the myriad of demands on them. Real estate. I've got my real estate license. I became a realtor. I became a broker in charge. Why? I'm good at training and I'm good at managing expectations. Near the end of that, I was also became pretty good at handling disagreements and a lot of disruptions. So then I began a career as a yoga instructor because I used yoga as a form of de-stressing, relaxation, in addition to just good physical workout. So stepping out of my type A personality and into respecting my mind and my body, which I still teach. Body centric coach came along. I went through a body centric coaching in addition to my life coaching. I thought that it was, and I still do, think it's a natural transition to try and understand what our body is saying to us. So, defining my ability to ask good questions, to leave the forest behind and kind of discover the trees, drop the old story, develop the empowerment of mind and body working in unison. Lesson in there is confusion to clarity. My personal why did I decide to do this? And through listening to Tony and through listening to Dean and through listening to Jamie over and over again, Michelle Knight, you hear that you have to understand who you are, why you're here, in order to get through the tough times and to go through the muck and the mire and the disappointments that are going to happen because they do happen. And things sometimes take longer than you anticipate. So I have to be connected to my why, and I am, and I will share that with you. But I'm also releasing some of the need to control the when. And that is something that I think is an important lesson for us, especially type A personality, people who like to be in control. Learning to set up boundaries is the other part of that that I think going through all these lessons and courses and this learning curve have helped me to be better at. So the easy answer of why is I like people. People typically like me. I've been giving advice and using words effectively for years. I'm a good communicator and I love to listen. Hence the name of my business, Wellness with Attitude. I think wellness incorporates a big picture, and attitude I think is really does determine our altitude. So I think attitude is a very big component of this. But as I dug deeper and looked for more meat in my why, I have to say that I've been fortunate to work with many women for over the last 40 years. Some of them have come to me as teachers, instructors, mentors, some who have given me a look at the challenges that they've faced for self doubt, lack of confidence, how they dealt with stress and anxiety, loss of identity, not being good at setting boundaries, that kind of thing. So I've learned from my students as well. And my next level of why takes me into I feel a responsibility. I've been given a gift of listening to my instincts and my intuition. And I've been doing that for a number of years, both in my life, in my yoga practice, in my teachings, in my coaching. And so in doing that, I've been able to work with people, coaching them into a more resilient, confident, and happy place. That is my why. The values I live by: number one, integrity in my words and my deeds. I have an entrepreneurial mindset. I love building business and developing clients. I have a sense of humor. I believe that we learn best when we are enjoying some of the process. Maybe not all of the process, but certainly enough of the process to keep our attitude and spirits up and us moving forward. Serving others through empowerment and the ability to say no without guilt. I think that this is a really strong and important point, and it is something that I am frequently, maybe even constantly, focused on my intentions. Responsibility. I have a good work ethic, and I show up for myself and I show up for others. Balancing life, love, self care, family, friends, work, learning and expanding, experiencing, and being in gratitude. Those are some of the things that motivate me to get up every day and keep me moving. What does my ideal client look like? Because I think that every coach is not right for every client. And that is a large part of the reason that I decided to make this video. I think it's important that you understand where a coach comes from, what they bring to the table, even hearing their cadence, their words, seeing how that relates with you. So, what does my ideal client look like? Well, they have an awareness that there is more to life than what they're experiencing. They want vibrancy, authenticity, respect, clarity of purpose. My client is willing to grow and be uncomfortable, to find change. They're ready to take steps to incorporate new tools into their lives. You think I can make an adjustment while I'm here? Oh, I could add some punctuation too, but that would just be boring. Anyway, ready to recognize and abandon old stories, patterns, and habits that have been in the way of change. People have called me a change agent. So people who like change will be very comfortable with me. People who change has been an issue for them will find a way to become comfortable with me because they want to to change and to have someone help facilitate and guide them through those curves of life. I'm pretty good at it. Searching for better communication with self and others. We have a tendency to tell ourselves stories. I'm good at helping break those apart and get down to the truth. And desire to uncover calm and focus and dislodge anxiety and stress. So if you're walking around with some anxiety, stress, if you've been telling yourself stories, if you've been holding yourself back from change, if you want new patterns, you could very possibly be a good candidate for working with me as a coach. And there'll be several different ways that you might choose to do that. So, what can the client expect? To design a plan that works for their life. It might be one course on self care. I designed this for some social workers and decided to put it up. And that is simply a free course. That's just my gift to you. So that might be a way of getting introduced to me and to my style. It could be a commitment to 3 coaching sessions with more sessions to be evaluated by both of us. We need to make sure that you're getting what you need and that I feel that there's growth still ahead for us. It could be a group with 8 sessions, maybe on Zoom with mini videos and a PowerPoint for training and interactive email for questions. A course, which is a video, will run between 1 and 3 hours and it will range from $49 to $125. And that way you can do this course on your own time. It might be on how to say no with no guilt. It might be on how to set boundaries. It could be on building your self confidence. It could be designing a plan that incorporates better balance. So there'll be all sorts of courses that I will design over the course of this next year. It could be one on one coaching with a minimum of 3 sessions. So we would need to commit to that and then we'll evaluate whether or not we go further or farther or forward. It could be a group session, which would be 8 segments. There will be a minimum of 5 people in it, a maximum of 10. And it will include some of the things that we talked about above. It'll be Zoom and many videos and PowerPoint. And so that you can see the prices here, the 3 sessions will be $375 and the 8 segments will be $120. I thought it would just be nice if I gave you some bonus tips. You've been kind enough to drop in here and listen to this video. So some of the things that I have found helpful and that I've picked up in the courses and the seminars that I've been attending is number one, you can adjust your attitude by adjusting your physiology, by moving every 1 to 2 hours and staying hydrated. Get up, walk, dance, take a breath of fresh air, take several fold over sessions, lay on the floor with your feet up, whatever movement means to you. Wake up in the morning, look in the mirror and give yourself a high five. Sometimes, it's hard to get the words out, but a high five can put a smile on your face. And you can do this anytime you go by a mirror, a window, whatever it might be. Give yourself a high five. Think about how fun it is to see little kids give each other high fives, or as an adult to give a little kid a high five and see them respond back to you. So take it lightly. Angels can fly, because they take themselves lightly. So maybe that's a thought for you too. Are you feeling stuck? Breathe deep for 5 long inhales and exhales. We take our breath and our breathing patterns for granted. But in addition to taking 5 long deep breaths, picture someone that you love or something that makes you smile and focus on that for those few breaths. It makes a tremendous difference in what your next words are, what your next actions are, how you interact with people, how it sounds when you pick up the phone or even send a text message. So those 5 breaths can be very critical and supportive to you. And change your mindset. Count down from 5 to 1 and then move and take an action. If you've paid any attention to Tony Robbins, he's all about movement and getting your pose and feeling that energy and changing that physiology. And if you listen to Dean, he's got all the enthusiasm in the world, and he's so committed to helping us to reach our goals. So, what is your call to action? Address your pain, your anxiety, your stress, write it down, be honest, and then take the next step. Ask yourself, what is the above costing me? So, what is your pain, your anxiety, your stress? What is it costing you? What will it cost you in the future if you don't take steps now to make change? Review what does my ideal client look like on a few of the pages before, and look at it. Do you fit in that? If you do, there you have it. Are the curves of life slowing you down? Are they overwhelming you? Are they coming on too fast? Do you feel frustrated or angry or out of control? I'm really good at those curves of life, and I would be honored if you would allow me to help you manage them if this seems right to you. How long do you want your old story or habits to stifle you? Yep, time to think about that one. If you can see the issues from these above questions and you want to find new roads to empower yourself, this is your call to action. I want you to do it now. Procrastination doesn't usually lead to great productivity, and it doesn't lead to a positive attitude. So doing it now is important. Also thought that I should give some credit. Tony Robbins, I've been a student of Tony Robbins for over 20 years. I began with Awaken the Giant Within. Then I went on to some tapes. I attended one of his first very large seminars. It was small back at that time in Hartford, Connecticut. I think it was maybe only 1,500, 2,000 people. It was amazing. It was definitely immersion. And then Tony, after this whole COVID thing, decided that we needed a comeback challenge. And I decided he was right, and I began again with him. His protege, KK, is here for us weekly, giving us motivation and helping to build our consistency. Dean Graziosi was new to me, but obviously he's a protege of Tony's, and they're best friends, and he is also amazing and has amazing energy. So I met him in the process of World Summit when he joined Tony. And then I didn't think I needed a new brand, but then I decided he was probably right, I did. So I went into his brand course. I joined Masterminds because that gives us an amazing platform to grow business. Dean has also created the Inner Circle, which he's allowed us access to, and he's given us the accelerated success formula and more. I mean, I've got so many acronyms in my head, I don't even know which one I'm going to, but I just keep showing up. Mastermind has brought Dave Esposito forward for us for coaching and weekly tips. So Tony and Dean have a philosophy of always over delivering. They've over delivered so much that my mind has exploded, which is why I sat down to do this, because I needed to find my plan, my pattern, and find the priorities that I needed to take this forward. And I hope perhaps that this might help you. Jamie Kern Lima just did her seminar, Unstoppable. Her guests were great. Mel Robbins is the one who, was the high five, and many others. So her book is Unstoppable. Might want to reach out and check that out. Other coaches that I have become associated with and learned from, Brand Mary, Michelle Knight. I have a 4-hour coaching program that I'll be attending with her in 2 more days. Coach Pony, Christy Mims, and the list really does go on. And I know I'm leaving some people out, but as I say, it's a bit overwhelming sometimes. There are just so many great people out there with so much to share. Their willingness to share, to over deliver, to serve has been inspiring me, and it's inspiring others, and it's helping me to step up and offer what I believe are my gifts and my responsibility. Some of the resources that I've been learning, using, expanding, hiring people to come in and help teach me. I'm doing more social networking on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Pinterest. Gone back to learning PowerPoint, which I haven't used in years, so that I can add greater benefit with some written words for my clients. Zoom, my granddaughter helped me to learn how to use Zoom. and it's great for interacting and coaching sessions. Cyberlink is a power director for editing videos. I've hired a young man who's coming back from college in March who's going to help me to understand that program better. Maybe it'll make me look younger. I don't know. We'll wait and see. Tune in later. Later is to manage social networking. It's a networking distribution platform so that you don't have to touch every button every week or every time you want to post something. And Trello is to be able to design, plan, and manage sections of my business. So it's like my to-do list, my in-process list, my done list, or if I'm delegating that off to somebody else. So those are some of the resources that I have been using. So I really want to say thank you so much for allowing me to have a focus, to create this PowerPoint outline, to share my thoughts with you, to make a time for me to invest in my plan, but hopefully this will just be something you can tune into. It will be something powerful and helpful to you. And I guess I have to say thanks, Dean, for one more challenge. This is Sandy Warren signing off. Wellness with Attitude, navigating the curves of life. Have fun.